Tauranga Libraries, filling young minds with stories and songs. And by night, she is right here at home on this very stage. She designs adventures for kids, but tonight we're going to get an adventure of our own. Please welcome the woman who gives story time a whole new meaning, Penny Guy.
Opening night of the Massey University Capping Review. When the performance was finished, the cast gathered in a large circle to hear what the director was going to say. John Darwood congratulated everyone, presented the prize for the best original script, and then, just as we thought it was ending, he unexpectedly handed over to Ian, a first-year student and MC for the musical section of the review. Ian said that there was a young man in the cast who was having trouble convincing a young woman of his affection for her. Warwick started walking across the stage towards me. The music started. And when I told you how beautiful you were, you didn't believe me. You didn't believe me. Rewind 2 months, and I was arriving at Massey University as a veterinary science student, first year. I settled into my room in Macari Hall. My friend Stephanie from school was right next door. I said goodbye to Mum and Dad as they started on the long drive home. Once the enrolment formalities were completed, I browsed the stands of the various clubs and societies. When I saw the Massey University Drama Society stand, I made a beeline for it and signed up at once. The guy on the stand said that they were looking for a couple of extras for a play that they were currently rehearsing, due to be performed in a month's time. Was I interested? Oh, of course I was. And after a conversation with the director, Stephanie and I found ourselves playing maids. I even had a line. Madam, the coach is at the door. There was a computer ball as part of the orientation week activities. The idea was to answer some questions and the computer would match you with a date. It sounded like fun. So I answered the questions and went to the student union office to buy my ticket. I was matched with John, a third-year vet student. He was nice. We had a good time. We saw each other another couple of times, but it didn't come to anything. After the recruiting officer had finished, it was time for auditions for the capping review. This was normally a fairly casual affair written and directed by students, but this was Massey's Jubilee year, so something a bit more polished was expected. Several scripts from previous years were dusted off and there was a competition to write a brand new one. John Darwood was the director, a lecturer in the English department, an experienced director. There was a large cast, and I made many lifelong friendships. And, to my complete astonishment, there were 4 young men who seemed to be interested in more than friendship. And that brings us back to Warwick's serenade. As he came towards me singing, cast members started cheering and clapping. Oh, my heart sank. Oh, I wanted to run away and hide. Later, I discovered that Warwick had been in the office buying his computer ball ticket the same time I was. I hadn't noticed him, but he had apparently noticed me and fallen in love at first sight. He had hoped the computer would give me to him to be his date, but it wasn't to be. I liked 3 of my 4 prospective suitors and had been out with one of them, David. Oh, but Warwick made me feel really uncomfortable. He kept paying me the most extravagant compliments with this big grin on his face, so I was never sure if he was sincere or not. There was only one dressing room for all the cast of the review. We just got on with getting changed and made a point of trying not to look at others while they were getting changed. Well, everyone, that is, except for Warwick. Whenever I was getting changed, he was always there, looking. And when I was in my bikini, ready to fawn over James Bond and Batman, he often volunteered to apply the fake tan, an offer I did not accept. One day, when he saw me licking my lips, he said, "I'd like to do that." Yuck! And here he was standing in front of me with everybody cheering. He gave me a gift, a leather jewellery box, and some people called out, "Give him a kiss!" Oh. Reluctantly, I gave him a peck on the cheek. And that was that, for that evening. All through the rest of the season, he kept dropping hints that he'll do something even more embarrassing on final night, unless I went out to dinner with him. Oh, should I go? I didn't want to. Maybe if I went, I could persuade him to leave me alone. Oh, imagine an evening spent with him trying to make conversation. Oh, but what would he do if I didn't go? And what would happen if I did go? Could I rely on him not to do the embarrassing thing anyway? Oh, maybe I should give him a chance. Maybe he wasn't as bad as he seemed. I agreed to meet him at the restaurant. After all, what could he do in a crowded restaurant? The night arrived and I met him at Palmerston North's finest restaurant. The meal was nice, but the best thing about that dinner was that Warwick had finally realised that he had no chance with me. He gave me a couple of gifts and a card with an awful lot written inside. But the part I remember was, he said, "Don't trust men," and I include myself and Tim, another admirer, in that, but I think you'll be safe with David. David, he was the complete opposite to Warwick. He was kind, considerate, and interested in me as a person, not just my body. I'd been attracted to him from when I first met him during rehearsals for the recruiting officer, but never dreamed he'd be interested in me. He was a third-year student, president of the Drama Society, lead in the play, and very popular. But when it came to romance, apparently he was unsure and nervous as I was. Some friends of ours in the review noticed our mutual attraction and hatched a plan to get us together. It worked. We've now been together for over 48 years and married for nearly 46. Warwick got an awful lot of things wrong, but he's right about one thing. I was and am safe with David.